The reason misclassification issues are so important is because if you misclassify an employee, you're opening yourself up to an enormous amount of liability, either direction. So if you classify someone as an employee, but they should have been exempt, or vice versa, there are potentially statutory penalties that come there. They could sue you for this misclassification, especially if you rate them as exempt when they should have been non-exempt, because then they were entitled to meal and rest periods that they might not have gotten that come with statutory penalties, along with the fact that you have to compensate them for any of those periods that they missed. You have to pay them the equivalent of an hour's worth of their normal wages. There might be overtime issues that come into play when you classified them as exempt. You didn't have to pay. But now that they're really an hourly employee, you should have been paying them overtime the entire period. Those things build up, and the statute of limitations on a lot of those claims are 3 and 4 years. So if you have just a single employee who is misclassified, one employee can bring a case on behalf of every other employee in that business who is similarly misclassified. So instead of paying penalties for just one person bringing the lawsuit, all of a sudden, if you've got 100 employees that you've misclassified, you're looking at potentially tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in penalties and liability for that misclassification. Not to mention, on the back end for the business, if you've misclassified employees, there might have been tax differences that you should have been paying to the IRS. And if they get wind of that through a lawsuit, you might have all kinds of penalties and other repercussions that can be very costly that you weren't necessarily thinking existed in the first place. So it's really important that if you have any question at all about how you should classify an employee, you should reach out to an attorney. Call us at Koegle Law. We'd be happy to work through what that job description is and tell you whether or not this person should be classified as exempt or not exempt.